a very good job at protecting the offlaner, be it a Brewmaster, Axe, Legion Commander. He has a lot of spam, so basically you act like a lich in the lane. You sit in the lane and you just keep using your Illuminate to harass down the enemies, and your offlaner just farms after that.
It's just such a versatile hero, Kato.
Yeah.
Like, you can do so much. Not only do you defend high ground incredibly well, your team fight control is really good with Blinding Light,
Axe,
Mana Leak,
dude,
Ags, the sustain. Like,
Oh my God.
there's so many different potentials that can come from Kato. That's why the hero, I think we're probably going to see it come more into fruition in this tournament at least.
When we saw Coddle getting picked, we saw Night Stalker getting banned. Is that a must?
Not a
Is
must.
it because if you have a Night
it's
Stalker,
not a must, but
you have a daytime of like what? Maybe 30 seconds every 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's rough.
It's not a must, but I mean, I can see the reasoning behind it, because not many teams pick Night Stalker nowadays, but you probably would want Nyx as a counter to Kotal. I think you see that more often, because Nyx is a very good way to deal with the Illuminate spam, and you can really hunt the Kotal down alone.
Yeah.
So we see their Sand King opening, a very flexible opening, and OG follow up with Ember Spirit and Warlock, two heroes that deal a lot of damage in team fights. Fatal Bond and the Spirit, the triple Spirit,
Yeah.
burst, and TnC just follows up with a Juggernaut, just very standard lanes, and it's also a particular matchup that TnC favors, the Juggernaut versus Ember.
Yeah.
If Ember goes mid, you just put your Juggernaut mid, and Juggernaut just wrecks the lane.
How has he wrecked the lane? I mean, he's got so much magical damage.
Low armor.
You have more armor, and basically Ember can't really use his Flame Guard in the lane because you just spin it and you remove it. And if you don't use Flame Guard to farm and you go by right clicks, Juggernaut has much better damage, so he would always have more CS than you.
Thank you.
There's
I'll
like
say for that one. Thank
a
you
lot
very
of
much.
things. Like the Healing Ward too, it's hard for him to kill Healing Ward. If it is down, you probably won't really need to use it in the lane, but there's just, it's a great matchup. But we did see, I think, were these two heroes picked by OG in elimination mode? I definitely saw them pick Warlock in, I think, their last game, because I saw a huge wombo combo.
OG loves Warlock right now, and for good reason. I mean, he kind of fell out of favor for a little bit, but his talent tree is actually really good.
Yeah.
Shadow Word got the cooldown decreased significantly. It's like constant now, which is so much damage and heal.
Talk about talent tree. Ember Spirit level 1 talent tree.
Oh, please, after you. Hit me up.
12% magic damage.
Got reduced at least.
Yeah.
Hey,
3% reduction.
they're working
We
on
take
it.
those.
Yeah, but you see in the second phase bans, OG is not expecting this mid Juggernaut. They removed Invoker, which is really good with the Sand King offlaner. They're expecting the Sand King to go offlane, so Burrow Strike into Sunstrike. They're worried of that.
Do you think it could like 100%? It's 100% Jug mid?
Very likely, because they
okay.
always do Juggernaut, almost always against an Ember, but not 100% of course, because you can still change it up. They go for the Axe, because Axe is really good against Juggernaut. Berserker's Call goes through the magic immunity, and you can kill Juggernaut easily with Blade Mail. Pretty solid counter for that, and TnC just goes back for very solid support. Rubik.
So the games right now are mostly about fighting. And if you look at the team fight potential from both teams, who do you favor? Because both have quite a bit, actually.
OG has a much longer cooldown, I would say. TnC doesn't really need to rely on cooldowns of Omni and Epicenter. They can always fight around Dagger, Power Strike, and Juggernaut have a lot of physical damage if you have a lot of items to kill one hero. But when you draft Warlock, you can't really do... I mean, you kind of can with Fatal Bonds, but usually you take fights with your Rock.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm kind of favoring OG's draft right now because they have a very defensive lineup.
Dude,
right?
I thought you said TnC was
I said I was favored. I didn't say they're gonna win.
I really like
on paper. No, but
I really like the Axe pick.
Yeah, the Axe is really good.
I think it's incredibly good versus like all three heroes. I think it's pretty hard to like. I think it's just hard to deal with that hero right now. I feel like I see him just no matter what he has, even if his lane goes poorly, he's always able to get his blink tag.
What are they gonna put Jerax on to help Axe? I know they like Pudge a lot. Previously, Jerax played a lot of Pudge. Usually he plays Pudge, Earth Spirit.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Tusk, baby. Tusk.
Oh, yeah.
Jerax, number one most competitive Tusk games, and Tusk just got that 35% talent tree. Are you kidding me? The 35 experience?
They do the Pudge.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it. All right.
he got the 35% experience tree, but the hero is still weak, though.
Oh, yeah, he still sucks. But he can learn a lot.
I mean, I would say Frozen Sigil has a lot of synergy with the Warlock. It's still a pretty good hero with their lineup, but look at it.
Look at that win rate. Oh, God. Take it away. Don't know that.
Okay. But this is only for Starladder iLeague, StarSeries,
Yeah.
those
Sure.
stats.
Sure.
So who knows what happened in other tournaments?
And
And
this-
maybe he won all those games there. You can think that.
This is Jerax too. I mean,
Yes.
if he ever gets on that hero, I mean, he's gonna do more than anyone else has ever done. So, anywho, Pudge coming out. An interesting pick. So much things you can do with him in a game, and then also great denier too. Like you're not gonna see any faceless voids or anything like that.
Support
He's-
tanking. They're switching things up.
Or support Batrider. We've seen support Batrider in the
I
past.
think, yeah, but I think TnC will do support tanking because they run this hero on teams occasionally. So I think it's very likely a support tanking, and probably the reason why they want to get a Batrider here, I think, is because they needed a catch for Ember. And maybe they're expecting the Pudge to roam a lot, so Batrider can dominate his lane.
Yeah.
That could be the reasoning behind it.
Pretty hard to play Bat versus Ember. I mean, you are the catch, but you know, if the Ember is
Yeah,
quick,
Nyx
it's
is
definitely
a
tough.
better catch against that.
Yeah.
But other than the laning factor, I'm not sure what are the other reasons behind the Batrider pick. Because if Pudge is safe lane, Batrider doesn't do very well against a safe lane Pudge. He just runs at you, rot, and GG. Batrider dead. First blood.
Do you think maybe they're trying to go for something like an aggro and set up a 1v1 versus the Axe?
Possible. They might want to do a Rubik, Sand King, Juggernaut, contesting the whatever safe lane they have, and put Batrider is a very good matchup against Axe 1v1.
I think OG is probably looking at what, like a Terrorblade here?
Yeah,
they need a
Terrorblade is very
power
good with
hitter.
Warlock. Yeah, Terrorblade
Yeah.
is very good.
10 seconds
Why?
Good with Warlock, they love it. They lack building damage. They lack a bit of physical still right now.
5 seconds remaining.
TnC lacks building damage. How are they gonna fix it?
Maybe they take it.
Oh,
TnC's
the race for
turn to
Terrorblade, please.
Well,
they're gonna
removed the
they're gonna
Slark.
think about their lanes right now. Either they do the Juggernaut with the Rubik and Sand King, ergo try. The
Yeah.
Juggernaut is very strong, or they leave the Juggernaut in the mid lane against the Ember and do
10
something else.
seconds remaining.
Go for like a greedy safe laner, or they're gonna contest with another hero.
5
Like
seconds
if
remaining.
you want to contest, I think you need a very strong call like a Mirana, Rubik, Sand King. If you're going to do Juggernaut mid, you need a very strong lane. Otherwise, they're gonna just go for like some standard Raven hero. Raven, he likes to play Terrorblade as well.
Yeah.
They're taking their time for now. They have a lot of bonus time left actually compared to OG. OG has only 6 seconds left.
These guys got a lot to think about, though. I mean, thank goodness that
Do
they
they?
do have that time. Sure. I mean,
What else stands out to you? I said that, and that's the only thing I'm thinking about now for some reason.
I think they need like a push core though, like a Luna. I think
Oh, yeah,
maybe
Luna's
draw might be good against Ember, the silence, and I'm not sure.
They go for the
Oh,
Timber
wow.
Saw. All right,
Oh,
how
wait,
does
I
this
think
fit?
no, I think they're gonna do. They can do so many lanes.
They can- yeah, they
Because
can.
Timber can go mid or safe lane. Either way, he's gonna get a good matchup, and there's 2 strength heroes on the enemy team, so it's very flexible. They can do many things.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to predict how TnC is
I
going to
mean,
clean it up.
they literally can do Batrider mid,
Yep.
off lane Timber Saw, safe lane Jug, or they could do
5
aggro tri lane with Juggernaut,
Yep.
put the Timber mid lane, Batrider safe lane, or Batrider mid, Timber safe lane, and aggro tri lane. So
Do you not feel like they're lacking some physical damage on the side of TnC?
Yes.
they have,
a little
they have
bit.
Juggernaut though.
oh,
okay.
okay, here we go.
No tell Meepo.
Meepo is quite weak against Timber Saw and Batrider in the early stages of the game. Those 2 heroes are pretty good against Meepo. Like the Napalm and the Firefly, they can wreck Meepo in a fight.
All right.
Poof with Fatal Bonds, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some ridiculous stuff.
I don't know.
I'm gonna ask it anyway.
I don't like the Meepo pick though.
Wow.
I'm not crazy
Oh.
about it either, to
Yeah.
be honest.
You're not crazy about the Meepo?
Not crazy about the overall OG's lineup, but TnC's looks a little bit strange, too.
All right. Well, we're gonna find out. It is time to head over to our commentators. Our first series is commentated by Odie Pixel and Merlini.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Indeed, we're getting ready for the first bit of action here at the StarSeries Season 3. We've got OG versus TnC, Ben. We have just had that final pickup of the Meepo. You called it, Ben. You were looking at the draft. You said this could be a Meepo game.
They like the Meepo.
Is it an easy Meepo game, or do you think TnC do have a lot of ways of dealing with it?
They didn't have enough reserve time, I think, to reconsider it after the last pick. I think they kind of set up for it, and then they're like, man, it's not great versus Timber. Timber's the only one I think it's bad against, but you gotta stick with what you have.
Absolutely. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting ourselves into the action as we're ready to lay down. Ben, do you have any kind of assumptions on lanes? Do you think because of that Meepo pick, TnC are going to kind of change up the way they're going to go about the early game? Do they need to put more pressure onto No-Tail? I mean, how do you deal with this Meepo? How do you stop him from getting out of control?
when the lanes invade the jungle. Same as against Alchemist, trying to gank him a lot, slow him down. Generally, I think you want to pair the Timber versus it, but because it is Raven on the Timber Saw, I don't think he's going to be up in that aggressive lane scenario. But Timber is going to be their Meepo killer because he has so much pure damage and so much AoE damage. Juggernaut doesn't really do that much. Maybe like once he gets like Battle Fury and or Maelstrom, he can do some damage. Sand King's like okay, but you don't really want that much magical because of his 35% resist.
And it's going to be interesting to see, of course, how this mid lane matchup does go down as well. I mean, Jug versus Ember Spirit, is there a heavily favored kind of advantage for either of the parties here?
I think slightly Juggernaut.
You'd be happier if you're the Jug, yeah.
Yeah, I think just because he has higher armor, you can exchange right clicks earlier. Also,
if you're the Jug, you shouldn't really be dying in that situation, really, unless you go
unless
aggressive.
You're out of mana.
I guess, yeah.
Which can happen if you go for the Healing Ward build, but
True.
I don't think you really need to if you go bottle. It depends. Some Jugs like the bottle mid, some of the Jugs don't. But yeah, I don't really think Juggernaut should be dying. Neither really should Ember Spirit.
No.
If you really get in a pickle, you just Flame Guard the Blade Fury, although most of the time you want to use it offensively. It's pretty even.
Yeah.
Jug slightly ahead because of crit and higher armor, so he can get more right clicks in, so he should be like ahead maybe 15% in CS, I would say.
Oh, here we have it back into the action at the moment. Look at we have seen TnC already get down that sentry ward here by the pool camp over on the side of OG safe lane. And actually not hanging around the rune spot there. They'll head over now and pick it up. And whoa, look at this, Ben, the bounty rune camp. My goodness, I didn't expect that. And it was a bit of the English flag as well, very nice. I approve of that one. There we have it. And Jarek does head over, grabs himself the rune.
So lane situation is already a little weird.
Yeah, S4 top, no tail bottom. Is this OG trying to dodge something from TnC?
I think so. I think they expected the Meepo to be up against perhaps the Timbersaw in some sort of aggro lane with the supports roaming around the top lane, but instead Meepo is going to be matched up versus Timbersaw, which is what TnC would want.
Okay, so looks like TnC managed to read OG back in return. And there we have indeed OG versus TnC kicking off in all three lanes. As mid lane, Cuckoo trying to do his best here to just harass back Anna. We'll see how the CS starts to go down and indeed who is able to get the edge on this lane. And also down bottom, how No Tail is able to deal with Raven. Obviously down here on his own at the moment in this Meepo. He's going to have to be a brave little boy. Top lane Sam H and Tim's putting the pressure onto the Axe already in the mid lane. Anna falling fairly low down to the last of the two pooled tangos. He's got the regen coming out on the courier by the looks of it. So it should be alright. Bottom lane, Hotel now being supported up by Flight. Shadow Word heals there as well, so the harassment from Rio, not going to do too much at the moment. And Notel getting a good amount of CS in this bottom lane as well for the time being.
You can tell it's a very farm-oriented lane for him because he hasn't picked anything up at level 2. If you look at Noto, he only has the one level of Poof. So at level 3, he's going to skill up the Poof and the Earthbind at 3, so he can just go power farm. It actually hurts you a decent amount if you get Earthbind at level 2. You only want to use it if you're about to die. Yeah, because you, what are you going to do at level 3? 1-1-0-1, which is not very great. He's one of those weird heroes that you actually hold the skill point until later, I would say. And he's actually going Treads instead of the Iron Talon, so maybe not so much jungling from him.
Top lane, Jarrett's got a nice little bit of a hook onto Sam H, but with the bow strike still ready, not enough lockdown, of course, to kill that Sand King. Mid lane, Cuckoo pops the salve, actually comes back in a little earlier. Cancels the salve willingly, he's looking for the kill potentially. In fact, he might just have it. Cuckoo pops the Fairy Fire. He will end up giving up his life for that one, but he's able to get the kill beforehand. So some aggressive play there from the Juggernaut, and just able to outplay Anna.
Definitely worth it for him.
Yeah.
And look at the creep wave when it comes back. There's still 2 range creeps in that mid lane. So
he's having a great time.
He's going to get so much experience when he gets back. And yeah, No Tail jungling it up. Pretty nice part about being in that off lane. Good access to his camps. He kills it before the 3-minute mark. So he's all good there.
Yeah, and Fly's going to be happy with this. I mean, as long as he doesn't get picked off, getting that early solo experience on the Warlock, helping him to get towards that level 6 is going to be very welcome. Mid lane, though, bit of a setup potential as Batrider eyes onto Anna here under the cover of the Invis rune. Can they actually kill him, though? Of course, still just level 4.
It's very tough. Very, very tough there.
Yeah.
Sims did
they've given up
quite some time.
On top lane, Set up from S4 onto Samh. Goes for the initial call. Can they... they're going to try and hook him. Yeah, I mean, Samh at this moment, he is a hard kill. You see Jerax kind of has been sat in this top lane, but it's very hard for Pudge to get anything done in terms of fatality.
I think TnC were very smart with their lanes too.
Yeah.
I think Bat Rider's way more susceptible to dying in that safe lane, just because you don't have a way out after you get hooked. But with the Sand King up there, yeah, if he gets hooked, not a big deal there. Not a big deal at all.
Oh, they're going to try again here. Jerax running around to Samh. Sam, can he play his way out of this one? He's got the backup, in fact, of the Bat Rider. Jerax will immediately go for the TP out, will make it. Nothing there to hold him back, but it's forced him to just head back to just go for the short TP there to the tower, but he's still very low on HP. Bottom lane, No Tail and Fly actually being able to bring down the Timber to very low life points. Mid lane still, this matchup, CS-wise, 21 for 8 for the Jug, 16 for 1 for Anna, so that's certain edge for the Juggernaut at the moment. It's Cuckoo having the favourable time here in the early game.
Yep, indeed he is. And probably need more stacks on both sides just so Bat Rider can get a little bit more levels, and so Meepo can, of course, farm what he needs to. Looks like he's actually going to skip the treads and go straight for the lance.
Got to get those Dragon Lances.
Yeah, you usually see treads very fast, though, because the attack speed is very good when you're farming the neutrals. But
it's true.
BOTs are also incredibly good on Meepo. It cuts down your downtime way more so than any other hero, I would say, except for Tinker. So, yeah, it's somewhat of a trade-off. With a slight nerf to Lance, I would expect more treads, but he doesn't really need the early attack speed, I suppose.
Top lane, Tim's. Go with Samh, just looking to put a bit of pressure onto S4. S4 at the moment, 21 CS. He's been able to find a lot from this lane. Just a little bit more than Samh has. Still very, very close between the two of them. I mean, all in all, this early game, it feels like there's a slight edge for OG in terms of what they're getting done from the map, because they have No Tail in this jungle and they're able to give this bottom lane to the Warlock. But TnC certainly not that far behind them.
Mid lane, Cuckoo goes in pretty deep.
Jerax, he's going to have to follow up hook, and indeed with that, that looks like Cuckoo will be taken down. Jerax, very, very fortunate there, and is going to be very happy with the fact that find that setup for the kill. Top lane immediately, TnC trying to react, but No Tail's there with the rotation. S4 is able to be kept alive, and in fact, No Tail is going to be able to take down both of them. Both heroes on the top lane going down for TnC, and OG keeping everyone alive just by the skin of their teeth.
I think one of the reasons the Meepo pick is incredibly good, I think he's one of the best heroes versus Sand King. You can't burrow strike once you're netted, and it just makes it a pain in the butt for the Sand King to be in that off lane, because you're generally pretty high levels, and if you just get netted once, you're just dead. You can't do anything. You're trying Sandstorm, you're just sitting there revealed, you can't burrow strike away. So I think also OG are doing a lot better because they're getting way more levels on their supports. Not only is No Tail getting a lot of farm and some decent amount of kills, but like Fly was able to sit down there versus Raven still is kind of just parked there, absorbing the experience, and Jerax, after getting that kill on top and not dying in the early game, he's also doing pretty decently. Whereas the Bat Rider, he's like in the lanes, but he's not getting kills.
No.
So you'd rather just be farming getting your Blink Dagger, but Blink Dagger I don't actually think is like extremely important for him, because that's not really how they're going to kill the Meepo in these situations here. I think it's mostly the Timbersaw getting really fat, which he is. He's getting his farm on the bottom lane for sure, and it looks like OG want to put an end to that.
Yeah, moving both S4 and Jerax down to the bottom lane with this smoke rotation. TnC will be the first to make a go, looking towards Fly. TP's coming through as well, and indeed OG, they'll get the wraparound. Anna's going to turn up. They'll look towards the Timbersaw with Jerax and S4 finish off Rio. Now they're going for Raven. Jump forward from Anna. Hits the root. S4 doesn't quite get the call though. The hook missing as well, so OG won't find the Timbersaw kill. The certainly bigger of the two that they would have hoped to, with quite a large rotation. And at the end of the day, TnC obviously getting a bit more space across the map because of that. Samh can put some pressure onto the tower. So a little costly for OG that they weren't able to get that Timbersaw kill.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best for them as they rotated 4 heroes, and yeah, it was kind of fortunate for the Rubik that he ran left, like kind of into the smoke, so that Timbersaw could evaluate the situation and dodge that death. But he is still kind of getting to that point where he's going to be very large, and difficult to deal with, but not so relative to the Meepo. Meepo, Dragon Lance complete, and he is going for the early BOTs after his first Lance.
TnC now. Now the ones looking to rotate into the cover of smoke. Tims and Rio ready to make a move. They don't have 6 on either of these heroes. So, no lasso or such. Maybe they can find Notel. I mean, Notel with the Dragon Lance, he's pretty big. He'll try for the poof out. Immediate cancel there for the telekinesis, but he just repoofs. And he's back to safety. At the same time, though, Cuckoo going absolutely ham. Takes down 2 members of OG. Top lane TnC aren't done now going again onto Notel, but they just don't have the damage, Ben. I mean, Dragon Lance, the stats are good.
The stats are real good, and they don't have enough lockdown. This is what I'm talking about with the bat earlier. Like, if he were juggling a little bit more, if he got 1 more kill, he'd be level 6. But right now, he's sitting at level 5.5. Cuckoo was able to pick up a double kill because OG were playing very greedily around the Ancients. There was a double stack there. Fly TP'd in to try and heal the Axe, and they were trying to take it down, but he just caught them at that exact right moment because that was a reward.
TnC, I'll take the tier 1 up top. Sam H on his way to the blink, 1100 gold in the bank. Bottom lane, Raven could be in trouble. Notel is heading down there with Fly and S4. S4, can he get the lock? He's not actually going to go for the call straight away. Looking to surround Raven. They just need to hit one of the nets to catch him, but he's already out of there with the Timber Chain. And looks like Raven, can he live here? Because now Anna's come in with the wraparound. They're trying to chase down this Timber. Jerax, he'll hit the hook. That'll do it. OG this time round able to take down Raven. But it does, I mean, they need everyone to do it, man.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, Timber's getting real fat, we need all 5 heroes to kill him. Or 4. Actually, that's pretty much everyone on your team.
I mean, as we said, I guess in the draft as well, understandable when you're running this Meepo, you know, Timber saw one of the biggest threats.
Yeah, he is.
So you need to do everything to stop him.
Juggernaut is super out of control too.
True.
I would say if he gets like, I don't even know what the build is because it used to be Battle Fury, but Battle Fury is not considered the best item at the moment. So sometimes you see Jugs go like double Battle Fury before to deal with Meepos, but to kind of turn him into a Sven. Now I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how early you get Maelstrom, for example.
Mid lane talking about the Jug. Cuckoo. Sticking around for the farm here. Jerax unable to find the angle for the hook. And Anna is back for the regen, working on that Veil of Discord, of course, next.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bottom lane, TnC ready to make a play. Sam H, Rio ready to go. They have Epicenter at the ready. See what kind of an opening they can find. They're coming over towards the shrine spot here of OG. Notel's in the neighborhood. So's Fly though. Fly on the low ground. He may come across him, maybe able to help out Notel. Notel immediately getting gone, and he does. He has the rock, drops it. Anna comes across, and TnC, they didn't expect the Warlock there to be hiding just behind them, and that Golem there pretty much just turned around that entire smoke gang.
Wow, that could have been so much worse for TnC. If they had the Blink Dagger on Axe like 1 minute earlier, like let's say if he didn't die at the Ancients, or if Notel had completed his Dragon Lance for that extra strength, I also don't think he would have died there. So TnC, they are kind of at that point where Meepo is getting very strong and very difficult to actually kill without getting away unscathed.
There's a lot of TPs coming in onto the bottom lane here. Anna, it doesn't look like he got out soon enough. The Burrow Strike into the lasso, and more than enough lockdown to bring down that Ember Spirit. As they will find it, and also able to deny the tower.
Notel's already there in mid, and he is level 11. So
he's big, Ben.
Yeah, he is big. 3 Meepos already hitting that, and they lose the Ember. They have the tower denied, but still at the same time, OG is pressuring all around the map, and that's before Axe has been able to get a kill with his Blink Dagger. And a hero like Juggernaut is going to be in a lot of trouble. He's pretty high on net worth on the Jug. Looks like he has gone for the Helmut Dominator first.
So yeah, sticking to the standard Jug build. As you said, no kind of variation yet, as we did wonder if there would be in terms of dealing with this Meepo. But Jug, actually going to be fine here. Jerax didn't have the mana there for the follow-up Dismember. And Anna isn't going to want to dive that. Rio now turning up into the neighborhood as well, just to keep Cuckoo safe. Top lane, Raven pushing out. Notel in the neighborhood. They could look to try and come in for the kill here. Indeed, S4 and Notel, they're hunting, and S4, well, he's found him immediately in with the blink pool. Notel bringing in the gang of Meepos. Sam H will be there with a good Burrow Strike. buys time for Raven. In fact, No-Tail falling low and he's out. Sam H there, turning up in time. S4 will manage to avenge his Meepo brother as he jumps in and is able to get the dunk out. But TnC, looks like they're going to be able to clear out both of them here. They'll surround the Axe, bring him down. And absolutely huge that they do get that Meepo kill and a second one to follow up as well.
Underestimating the recently picked up hood on the Timbersaw.
Yeah.
That hood, if he didn't have that hood right there, he would have died without really getting that much damage on the Meepo, and none of that would have happened. But yeah, Timbersaw doing a lot of damage before he died. Very, very important. Bat Rider searching for his Blink Dagger, only at 2,000 gold at the moment. They still need more pieces to fit their puzzle so they can actually deal with this Meepo in the impending moments. That's like kind of before a Warlock rock to fly, meanwhile trying to farm him on the bottom lane with his Hand of Midas, so he wasn't actually available to offer that to the fight. The Juggernaut Helmet Dominator, I don't think it's an auto get anymore. I think it used to be before 7.02.
Yeah, well, before the nerfs.
Yeah, now it's just, I don't know. It's clearly not as strong, but again, it doesn't really help him in his quest to kill Meepo. The Purge Creep is really good at, let's say, getting rid of the Ember Spirit's Flame Guard and maybe chasing down a couple of heroes, but I think its utility might be diminished by the fact that he's going to need a lot more AoE clear, and the Satyr, Shockwave, you know, all that stuff is just very minimal when you're talking about killing that fat Meepo.
I mean, does it kind of get easier or harder to deal with the Meepo as this game goes on? You know, can TnC keep up with this Meepo's farm, or will No-Tail always be a step ahead the later this goes?
He's not always a step ahead. The
No.
Timbersaw, I think, can actually fight Meepo with maybe like 70% of his net worth, just because he's like really difficult to kill. Usually he'll have a lot of reactive stacks up. He has a lot of magic mitigation to deal with the poof, and just very elusive in general when you're talking about the Timbersaw. The Juggernaut, I think, as long as he's like in the net worth zone that he is right now, he's kind of neck and neck with the Meepo. Usually Meepo's like 20% ahead of everyone else, but because he did die for the last two ganks that TnC attempted, I think like both teams are kind of still vying for that lead.
We see the side of OG ready to get on with this game. Unfortunately, just a short pause at the moment. Looks like they are fixing the issue on stage as it goes.
It's very difficult for the Juggernaut in this game, though, because he wants HP so you don't die to like a Blink Blade Mail Axe in the mid to late game, but also you want a lot of damage so you want to kill No-Tail. So like, what do you actually go as Juggernaut this game? If you go Maelstrom, you'll just get called, rock, and then cold every time. And if you don't, then Meepo's just gonna be able to manhandle you in every single fight. So
yeah, I mean, it's just not a nice game for the Jug.
it is definitely not.
It's a hard game for Cuckoo.
He also has a lot of things that go through his spin.
Yeah.
You have the Meepo passive Geostrike goes through bind. You have the Berserker's Call. You have Rock, and you have
Dismember.
Dismember.
Yeah.
Like 4 of the 5 heroes
yeah.
can do a lot of damage to you during the spin.
It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
As you said, a lot of this is, for TnC at least, is going to be on the plays. Mainly, it feels like, yeah, Raven has got a lot of work that he needs to pull off. This Timbersaw performance. It needs to be strong. So far, it's not been looking too bad at all. He's third highest on the net worth.
There's a lot of things that they need on TnC, though. You want a lot of damage on Jug, like I just mentioned, but you also want a Yules. Yules is one of the best solutions at dealing with the Axe, with the Blade Mail, especially with a squishy hero like the Jug. Like, if your teammates are really good, you can just go straight damage, and then you don't have to worry about killing yourself on the Blade Mail in the later fights. So I don't know if they're going to be able to farm that, because Sanking has not had the best game, because he is versus the Meepo, but Dire has used Scan. Will they pick up the tail end of the smoke? Yes, they will.
Let's see what goes on here.
Meepo immediately backs off from the bottom lane, and they know what's happening.
And they'll get the jump in onto the Purge. OG will be there with a reaction. Immediately Jerks falling down low. In they come with the epicenter sandwich, looking for the backline. He's trying to go for Fly, but Fly still gets the Golem down. TnC, they've lost one. Meepo, Big Burrow strike for Samage, catches him out. They've actually taken down No-Tail. 2 out at the moment for either side. Cuckoo surrounding S4. The Blade Fury, that'll do it. 3 dead on OG. And at the end of the day, even OG seemed prepared for that. TnC, they come out on top, they're killing this Meepo, and they're getting away with the favorable numbers.
They expected the gank to come from a different angle because Pudge kind of got caught and they didn't really have a good solution. They don't have like a VS swap, like an Oracle, nothing really like that. So Pudge got caught. I think they might have expected just a gank, straight gank on the bottom T2, or perhaps a wraparound behind the Juggernaut, but not from like where they came from, the right side of the T1 in the mid lane. But at the same time, TnC, they don't take down that T1. It's still quite healthy at around half HP. So that is kind of not exactly what they were looking for from the gank, but it still was another death for Meepo, and it was also when he had a lot of gold. He has like 1900 right now, saving it for the BOTs, so that was a very costly death for Meepo.
And they weren't. I didn't see that at all there.
Wow, he has S and Y in his quick buy. Juggernaut. S and Y is unusual. It's been buffed and buffed, but you still don't see it on that many heroes just because Manta often gives you a lot more. Like if you get hooked, you have an extra way to not get dismembered. You can split out of the Earth Binds. There's a lot of things that you can do, but at the same time, there are some downsides to Manta. Like it'll cause Axe to spin more. They also have a lot of AoE to deal with it. Like you'll just Fatal Bonds yourself.
I mean, I guess the extra strength is just what's nice here against the burst and the magical damage from OG.
It certainly is. Nice synergy with the healing ward too. Maim is mediocre this game though.
Yeah, not really going to do a huge amount against really any of these heroes. Maybe for chasing down some of the backliners.
Yeah.
I'll make it a little easier for Cuckoo to pick off them.
Yeah, weaving in and out of the fight surely is probably the biggest benefit of SNY in this game.
On top lane, TnC will find the tower here. We'll get the trade though, OG. Looks like TnC actually going to start TPing down into the bottom lane. They want to try and hold on to their tier 2 here. Sam H with the epicenter at the ready on the sidelines. We'll see what sort of an opening they can find here. In fact, it's going to be the Timbersaw initiated on. Sam H going for the epicenter, jumps in, hits it onto 3. Absolutely beautiful from Sam H. But the OG, they will cut down onto 1. They've taken 1. Can TnC get any more out of this? They're looking towards No Tail. He's incredibly low. The Flame Break will connect. Cuckoo with the final slash brings him down. And Sam H just pulling out play after play here. He finds the lock on to Fly. Backups there. OG lose 4. And TnC pulling off the team fights exactly as they need to be able to beat this Meepo.
They're playing so well around the Timbersaw. That's the second time they try to all in on the Timbersaw. They don't kill him. The Coaling Blade missed, chopping his head off, and then the Meepo's in a really bad position because he's about to take all this burst afterwards. So that is not exactly how they wanted the game to go down. They weren't able to engage on a Timbersaw as soon as the TP when he isolated from his teammates, and then they waited too long to actually go onto him. And they waited for like the 3-second chains and then the hook afterwards and then the dismember. Like it just took like 6-7 seconds later than they actually wanted to fight. Normally, you would do that with an Aegis on the Meepo so that, yeah, you kill the Timber, but then Meepo will have his second extra life so he can keep on snowballing. But Meepo is not on top of net worth. He's not even number 2.
What's up? Round it. He's found 2 of them. He's kind of thinking about it, a little low on the mana at the moment. Can't really commit for any action on his own. Cuckoo just about 450 away from finishing off that S&Y. Still net worth wise, he is up there at the top, 9k on the jug.
Yeah, he hasn't been dying very much.
I've been getting a lot of farm. It's always
always
going to be good news when he's higher than the Meepo at this stage.
And the Axe is actually a little underfarmed too. Normally you'd have Blade Mail maybe 3-4 minutes ago, but I think that Death of the Ancients has really slowed down S4.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sometimes you see S4 just kind of run away with the game on an Axe, get these insane timings, but this one certainly hasn't been that. TnC doing their best to keep OG down.
I'll take your tribute.
Yes. So far, it's looking pretty good for them.
It is. Meepo just hit level 16, though, so he does have his level 15 lifesteal talent. That's pretty much the go signs for Roshan at any time.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the Blink Dagger, so he might have to smoke. Actually, he does have the Blink Dagger right now. So I think Rosh is going to be the next event that both teams are going to be looking out for. TnC already prepared with an Observer Ward to the southwest of the Roshan pit, and they're also ready in that area. Sam H, he knows. they need Roshan on Meepo right now.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have got a very good fight around the pit with these ults online.
It just depends who has the worst position. If you're inside the pit, you're going to die. Pretty much.
Yeah, whoever's in there is gone. Take down the Helm of the Dominated Creep. Mid lane, Anna going incredibly forward and immediately. Oh no! Ember Spirit is out, and TnC, they're going to have the numbers advantage to play with for a good 50 seconds.
They need this T1 down before they can do Roche, but Ember Spirit is still down for 40 seconds, so it possibly could be a T1 into a Roche threat and into a buyback.
Sammy boy ready to set up. Fly will be there with a nice 3-man column. There'll actually be a buyback here from Anna. They're looking to turn it. They'll come in and cut them down, and they've just managed to find 3, but they can they get any more? That's the question. I mean, Samh is still alive here. They've got the Sentry Ward down. They will find him.
Okay.
Big buyback there from Anna, jumping in, but pretty much once again it's Fly with these golems. He holds on to them, and he's always there for the setup for OG to turn it around.
Yannis was talking about this during the panel too. He said, like, even if Axe, like, he's like kind of medium in terms of net worth, he can still do so much. Yeah. Blink Blade Mail, he just picked up his Blade Mail before the fight, kills the Juggernaut before he gets his Omni Slash off, and they had a lot of damage, but they just weren't able to do enough because Juggernaut just died. And yeah, Axe sacrificed his life, but it doesn't matter when your Meepo survives and they're able to take a +1 off this.
Absolutely huge there for OG. They were losing the last few team fights, but that one there, securing the numbers and getting themselves the Roche in the Aegis.
Tactical death by Ana?
It was, Ben. It absolutely was.
It looked pretty safe for them. I think that the Juggernaut Cuckoo was very, very far up. I don't think he realized that the Axe had Blade Mail yet, because he had his Helm with Dominator creep on him, beating on him when he was close to the T1, and he only had the Chainmail. So it's like, oh yeah, he probably doesn't have Blade Mail yet, and that's kind of the only thing that you're scared about in a Juggernaut this game. Even the SNY didn't save him. So now it kind of sucks. He built HP and he still died in that fight. They lost a road, and now he doesn't have the farming tools to actually overcome Meepo in terms of net worth. He was doing so well being 1,000 ahead of the Meepo, now he's 1,000 behind. But they're smoking up.
Yeah, they want to fight into this Aegis.
Yeah, and they're fighting without the rock. So this could be a pretty good time because they didn't use Omni Slash the first time. It could be good for them. But I see a ping coming out from JRX. He knows exactly where he is. And No Tail's like right at the shrine too. Do you really want to fight an Aegis Meepo?
TnC want to go. They want to go for it. They've found Fly. They'll bring him back. They'll be able to take him down to start off. OG actually respecting the fact here that they don't have that wall, they don't have that golem. They don't want to try and bite back. They'll let TnC just have that kill.
Oh, and they have the jump on the Bat Rider. They're really going in at this point in time.
TnC starting to amp it up.
Yeah. It's a nice and risky play from TnC. They know if they just let the Meepo farm with his Aegis, he's going to be like 4,000 ahead of the Juggernaut by the time they fight next. And also they can just push towers with the Aegis. So they actually want to strike first, and investing into a gem is a very risky maneuver that a lot of teams would not do at this point. It's kind of signifying like we have to win fights now or we'll lose the game. I like that mentality from TnC though.
Yeah, absolutely. No backing down at all here.
No risk, no reward, man.
They've got to keep this tempo up against this Meepo lineup. They can't fall behind. They want to take away this game. I mean, at the moment, 24 minutes in, 16-17. Net worths, Meepo, No Tail now at the top of the board, but still Cuckoo very close behind. Will be OG now, looking for the smoke movement. They're heading towards the top lane. They've got their eyes for Cuckoo by the looks of it.
Ooh, and they've approached the shrine, so TnC will not have access to that. It's a very difficult place for TnC to TP into. That T1 is just a goner.
Yeah, Cuckoo backing up. Doesn't want to get caught out here. Knows there's something fishy going on with the amount of members that OG has off the map at the moment. Sims is coming forward, and he does have that lasso. But Fly's got that golem, and we've seen Fly turn around a few fights with the chaotic offering so far. I think TnC will be very careful how they choose to take a fight when they don't have vision on Fly.
Yeah, Fly is, I actually think, the most important person to kill in these fights. And on TnC, you're worried about the Juggernaut getting jumped by the Axe. That is, I would say, the most important. Timbersaw, he has Bloodstone and Hood, so he's like, very difficult to kill. Even if he dies, he'll be back in like 10 seconds or so. So Timbersaw is definitely not the target. It's, I think, almost always going to be a Juggernaut. Maybe the Sand King, but Sand King's not that devastating at this point in time, I think.
Now, interested to see what Cuckoo does do with his build after this S&Y. I mean, is there anything you feel is obvious here for the Jug? Did you just build stats? Did you go back for the Maelstrom?
If you go Scotty, you have no damage. Yeah. I think you have to go Maelstrom. Or Battle Fury. I still think Battle Fury is decent just because he's versus Amiibo. But I would say Maelstrom is by far the safest build for him right now.
Okay.
And you can't really go wrong with it at this point in time. I'm more so interested in some of the other people's builds, like Sand King. What does Sand King go right now? Does he go Veil to try and... Right now he has Tranquils, Blink, and Yules. So the Yules is very good to have an extra disable versus the Meepo, so he can't move away. It's good at getting rid of Flame Guard. It's good at saving his butt so he doesn't die to like Fatal Bonds combo. But do you want a Force Staff to save your Juggernaut? Do you want like a Veil so you can actually kill people? Do you want an Aether Lens for a little bit more like lockdown with the range? You go Scepter. Like there's a lot of like the Scepter applies Caustic to all the Meepos too. So like that also gives you a lot of damage. I don't. Do you want BKB? I don't actually know for him.
Radiant structures are
Mid lane OG. Wants to force out the fortification. And in fact, immediately backing off as well. Not wanting to stick around to try and finish up that tier 2. TnC coming out.
Now the game has changed a lot because Meepo completed Side Device. Side Device is one of the most devastating items against
and S4 wants to fight here. Jumps in onto Cuckoo immediately there with a hook and the Dismember. He's out. Fly drops the Golem. We'll look for Sam H as well. Remnant 4 for mana. Can they chase this down?
Oh, where was the chains? He still has one.
Didn't connect the combo there. Well, we'll be able to blink forward now, get it in, and then with no tail, in with the side. Now pick up a second. TnC to lose 2. Rio coming forward. It's a bit of a feed train here from TnC as they lose 3 heroes, one after another. And OG now with that big opening to push into the base and to get some serious damage done. I mean, you can never underestimate the pushing power of this no-tail Meepo with the stats and damage that he has. TnC in a bit of a rocky position. They do have the epicenter still available on Sam H. The hook onto Raven. Now they'll go for the epicenter. In they go again. Sam H with these huge epicenters. He's been able to shut down the Meepo here, and they may even get themselves some more. They have the Yules set up into the Burrow Strike, and oh, Anna jukes it out, doesn't matter. Raven's there waiting by the Remnant. Now look to chase down for more here, Jarax. Can he actually get himself out of this? He doesn't have a TP. They don't have any wards though, TnC over on this side, so they don't spot him at the moment. Looks like he will be able to duke it out a little bit here, Jarax, and will be able to survive.
They did not even need to use the buyback on the Juggernaut there.
They didn't need Cuckoo back, but yeah, he came in nonetheless.
It's actually, I think, really important that he didn't buy back there. So he went for a Blink Dagger, not my choice item for him. However, it will allow him to actually do damage while being in the back lines. And that's actually the biggest issue for him at the moment. If he's in the front, he just gets called and died into a rock that time, like we saw. They didn't even need to use Hex on him. They used Dismember as well. So like he just needs to not die in the fight. HP didn't save him, so he will go for a little bit extra utility. And Meepo's almost up right now, but Roshan number 2 is also almost up.
TnC with that defense just instantly swinging the momentum back round. I mean, it really feels like it's been a game of Sam H's epicenters and Fly's golems. You know, if one of them hits something huge with their ultimate, they get a lot done.
Yep. I think one of the problems with TnC's team fight is that Timbersaw is actually not tanky anymore. He did for the 2 times that he died, but that was because it was like a gank. It wasn't a team fight, and that's kind of the mentality with a lot of carry players. You don't actually want to go in first, so you don't do the damage. But I think Timbersaw is like the off-lane hero where you want to take damage because you get reactive stacks and you can just do so much even when you're escaping. You just throw out a chakram, you chain away.
Look at this, Ben. TnC have found themselves a bit of free action here in the mid lane as they wrap around onto S4. Glimmer Cape ain't gonna save you, son.
He does have buyback.
Down for 50. We'll see if TnC can force anything out from the side of OG. There's still a tier 1 and a tier 2 to be taken on the bottom lane though. No tail, continuing to put the pressure on the side lanes. Working towards that Skadi next. And it is going to be the Aghanims here for Sam H. He's picked up 3 of the 4 components, 1k gold to go, and he'll have it in the pocket.
That is going to be really good at killing the Meepo. So, yeah, TnC's kind of gamble looks like it has paid off. Oh,
I mean, look at this. Sam H. Oh, no, he couldn't quite do it. He couldn't quite do it now. And with the turnaround from Mana, they've found what? No, it's actually TnC that's coming out top by looks of it because they've got the advantage in numbers. They've lost the Meepo and having to use all of the remnants here to get away. Still got one left. So it looks like he's going to be A-OK. But again, Sam H just coming in. He does pay with his life. But it allows them to get that kill onto No-Tail, down for 80 seconds.
Yeah, and Raven has continued to accrue a lot of charges. He wasn't having the best game earlier, but like he is, look at his net worth relative to the Meepos. He's at like 2/3 his net worth, but he just still causes like huge amounts of issues for him. And I think it was a really excellent pick by TnC because they didn't actually have the last pick. They had the next to last pick, so it kind of dealt with a lot of the potential good picks that OG could come up with at the moment. Terrorblade kind of being, I think, the next best option for them. I think Timbersaw is also very, very good against Terrorblade.
Yeah, for sure. It was certainly a well-rounded way to finish it off. And so far, this game back and forth.
Cuckoo's in.
Into the pit they go. Let's see if OG can do anything about this. They are going to smoke and immediately head over. And they do something big. He's going to find the pick off here with the hook. Jarek catches out one. Good call from S4 as they pick up Rio as well on the Rubik.
And they lost the gem.
What did you learn?
That was risky. He did not deward, or he was trying to deward it, and then he just died.
And with that, OG have got control around the Roche pit. They are going to head in and commit for it.
I'm actually surprised they aren't trying to force anything out. Looks like they're just trying to deward around the area. Jerax will get that first ward up, but now they know that TnC doesn't have vision around the area unless it's from that siege creep, which I believe was Midas by Fly.
Into the pit they now go, OG. And indeed, with this Meepo, they should be able to get this no problem at all. TnC, Cuckoo, Sam H, and Raven just down onto the bottom. We'll finally look to pick up that tier 1 tower. OG should get the Aegis. No problem at all here. Thanks to those 2 pickoffs. There we have it. Aegis into the hands of No-Tail as he gets bigger and bigger this game, nearly reaching 18,000 net worth at the moment.
He went survivability talents too. 400 health is pretty standard at level 25. He also went for the evasion or attack speed on 20, which I don't think is super standard, but it is good at dealing against the Juggernaut in this game. He has gone for a Basher on Juggernaut. Of all items, I definitely did not expect a Basher. Blink Abyssal is really good at dealing with Ember Spirit, but I think as we've seen from the majority of the fights, Ember Spirit has not really been that big of an issue.
Because they've got a lot of lockdown, it seems, between the rest of them.
Yeah.
Sam H, Rio.
Maybe they want more lockdown versus the Meepos, but usually you just need damage versus the Meepo, because in a team fight you're not pooping away. But it looks like they are setting up a trap over here. Radiant has used scan, and they're out of there. You don't want to go in the Meepo with the Aegis, but at the same time they do want some more towers. T1 still holding up strong.
TnC have got to be very careful how they play their way around this Aegis. OG very much with the power spike. The position that No-Tail's in. Shiva's Guard going to be worked on by Raven. And OG actually moving across it. Jax hits the hook, immediately brings the SK. Quick burrow strike for Sam H. Can he save himself here? No, he can't. No-Tail's there with the Hex. Sam H is out. 40 seconds, no Sand King.
He just wanted to buy his point booster, man. He's at 900 gold. All he needs is his point booster last for a Scepter, and was not able to get it.
Sad times there for the Sand King.
Fly's like, I'm trying to take down the Prime myself, guys. Jerax.
That's been caught out. Blowing the Omni Slash as well, bringing down this Pudge. They'll find it. S4 though, ready for the turnaround. Comes in with a call. Again, the Golem from Fly onto 3 more. And they'll actually find the Timbersaw here. Can they get themselves anything more? No-Tail coming forward, the aggression here from Ana. Root onto 2. S4's there with the Blink Pool and the Blade Mail. They'll poof in, bringing them down.
Пока не очень удобно получается убить, хотя у Рейвена ресурсы заканчиваются, маны нет. Он и сам уже преследовать не особо хочет, хотя идет дальше, вперед. Упался Тимбер, упался Джиггернаут. Это два основных героя коллектива. Поэтому дальше будет еще сложнее. Любая проигранная драка будет, скорее всего, означать поражение для команды TnC.
23 тысячи урона, кстати,
да,
внесла команда. Мне бы хотелось посмотреть, сколько Тимбер.
11 400.
11,5, да. За драку внес Тимбер.
Ну, опять же, мы понимаем, что этот урон распределяется между МИ по множествам, да, мы понимаем, что тот же плотный пуч, который получал урон в драке, очень много.
Это внесенный урон.
Безусловно.
Да,
но заметь, что его не хватило.
Да, потому что нет никого, кто на том же уровне вносил бы такое количество урона.
Да, для сравнения, Джиггернаут 2800. 2800. Центральная линия, герой Джиггернаут.
Из 23 тысяч, что тоже очень важно. То есть в процентном соотношении это достаточно мало. 10% от мейн-керри, это, ну так, не мейн-керри пускай, ну, в принципе, ну, Джаггер из мида — это практически мейн-керри.
Есть пища для обсуждения наших аналитиков, что Джиггернаут, возможно, по артефактам мог бы изменить у себя. Или стоило бы это вообще делать, менять что-то, или этот билд правильный, потому что здесь, мне кажется, вопросы возникают к выбору артефактов Джиггернаута. Его действием, понятное дело, хотя исполнял он на старте просто потрясающе. Что линию он стоял хорошо, что по игре действовал неплохо. Возможно, есть какие-то вопросы к артефактам, но это уже пища для наших аналитиков.
Да, но сейчас видим по нетворсу очень сильные две позиции у OG. Это NoTail и это Анна, и слишком отстает Джиггернаут вместе с Timbersoul. 37-я минута, мы видим на один, где-то даже на два артефакта обгоняет тут же NoTail своих оппонентов. Вот Анна просто шикарную карту проводит.
Ну, ты заметил.
Всегда авангардом идет, всегда на передовой, дает кучу пространства для того же Джеракса.
А заметь, что у Флая появилась. Это Lotus Orb у Варлока. Lotus Orb здесь просто потрясающе смотрится. Здесь хватает героев, от которых Lotus Orb будет спасать просто замечательно. Это и врываторы, которые есть у команды OG. Они будут очень сильно получать усиление за счет Lotus Orb. Не так приятно будет по ним инициировать. Можно и немножечко простоволоситься на том же Синкинге, например, или же на Бэтрайдере.
Да, Бэтрайдер вообще
очень
печально
важное
выглядит. Если врывается Бэтрайдер и дает сам по себе лассо и просто стоит, то за 5 секунд с тобой просто знаешь, что сделать. Так, Джеракс, пошел по нему, Джеракс улетает отсюда. Джеракс все еще живет, Lotus Orb на него повесили. Вот, ну и Куку раскручивается. Пытается уйти отсюда под обхивалом. Не очень приятно. Куку, урон вносится по NoTail. Висит также Чакран. NoTail может погибнуть. Флай очень мало здоровья у него. NoTail сражается до последнего. В итоге потеряли NoTail. Не будет его 100 секунд. Но в команде OG еще есть кому драться. Это все тот же Анна, который вносит много урона. Это все тот же S4. Вообще все в составе команды OG внесли кучу урона по команде TnC. В итоге так много внимания было потрачено на NoTail. Так сконцентрировались на нем, что не заметили, как их весь состав OG как раз таки разобрал.
И вновь ситуация повторяется. Количество внесенного урона команды TnC 10 300. Timbersoul 8000 этого урона. Остальные герои и близко не стоят. Некому вносить урон команде TnC. OG имеют немалое количество контроля, не дают разгуляться в драке. И героям по типу Джиггернаута урона явно не хватает сейчас. Его просто недостаточно. OG сильнее, OG более стойкие в драке. И они демонстрируют это уже которую драку. Они выигрывают. -5, это минус сторона. OG очень близки к победе в этом конкретном матче. Врывается Сент-Кинг. Не самая лучшая инициация получилась. Много урона пришлось в Флеймгуард. Поймали также Сент-Кинга. Прыгает неплохо. Акс минус Сент-Кинг должен быть. Да, Сент-Кинг погибает. Рейвен тем временем пытается добить Эмбера. Урона немало вносит. Эмбер, фисты, пока что жив. Сбивает Линкен-сферу. Эмбер, еще ударчик летает. Эмбер погибает. Геймер Кейп, увы, не спасает его. Приходит сюда Тимс. И работает Чакрам неплохо. Двух героев контролирует команда TnC. Флай горит. Горит также Джеракс. Джеракс должны добить, как и Флай, впрочем.
Да, вот та ситуация, которую мы видели в Lotus Orb, только что дал лассом на Тимс. Постоял какое-то время. Ничего полезного не сделал. Но с другой стороны...
Не забрали, причем били барак милишный.
Says about Meepo falling is that like Ember is one
true,
of
they don't have a lot of
the
push,
worst cores at hitting heroes or hitting buildings, I think. He's just so vulnerable, like not that much armor, not that much right click at all. And yeah, they just need a little bit more time for Meepo to come in. They almost got the melee racks, but TnC do hold on. Small window before something happens. for OG, the Ember and the Pudge respawning.
20k lead at the moment for OG. Cuckoo. It's in on the middle racks though. Can TnC get away with this? Fortification will come out from OG. 6 seconds and they'll have Jerax back up as well. See what they can get here. Rio trying to catch someone here with a stolen hook. S4 jumps over the BKB immediately. Looking to lock down onto Cuckoo, but he got the Flame Fury out in time. But Jerax is going to connect on 21. OG do manage to force TnC off those racks. Nepo, can he find anything here? Rio. Looking Jerax, no tail. Jumping in, he's rooted one of them here. They're looking to fight OG. Samé has the Epi though. Comes in onto no tail, immediate reaction from Fly. As he drops the Golem, Samé tries to use himself out. He will manage to play his way out towards the top, but Raven gets dunked down. TnC, they've already lost 2. The hook there onto Cuckoo, cancelling the TP. They're going to find the Juggernaut as well, OG. And it's another fight where they're bringing down 3. And this time, OG losing no one in return.
Lesson 1 of 7.0, don't fight at the enemy shrine.
Yeah, it's a huge, huge shrine fight there for OG. And no buybacks as well on the 3 heroes that are down on TnC.
I think a lot of that was because of No-Tail. No-Tail kept rooting them. Like, your teammates are Earthbind. Are you really not going to fight and just leave 2 of your teammates to die there? So you kind of just put them in that situation to begin with. And with those 2 shrines falling down, Roshan respawned already. Fly has checked it with his Golem. Looks like they have a fair amount of time before the big force of TnC to respawn.
Here we have just no-tail sieging potential with this insanely stacked Meepo. Ripping TnC's base to pieces here. Anna jumping in. Looks not going to connect here from Jerax onto Rio. And again, OG, they're playing it safe. They're backing up. Now going to look to clean up the entirety of the base, and still TnC's base has a fair bit left to it. OG look towards the pit, just going for the safer plays here.
It definitely is way safer because Meepo's already hit 25 like a long time ago, as well as hitting 6 slots. Now when he takes Roshan, he's kind of just going to be 5 slot. I guess Aegis is pretty good on him, but he's still 6 slotted, and he's not going to get that much stronger. So if TnC managed to buy back on the Juggernaut, kind of Omni slash him from behind, wrap around, take the Roshan, like Meepo would be so much weaker relative than how he is at this particular juncture in time. So what does he do with 5,300 gold? BOT2s, I would assume. He has a lot of gold.
Yeah, I mean, no-tails farm this game. It seemed like it was off to a little bit of a slower start. He, kind of 15, 20 minutes in, he wasn't sailing ahead, but now, at this point of the game, 26,000, a clear 10k ahead of any of the cores of TnC. Certainly the place that he wants to be on that Meepo.
Look at Juggernaut's net worth, though. It's so sad. Like, the thing about it is his item build wasn't ideal this game, but I don't actually know what would have been ideal in this situation.
It feels like, you looked at the draft, and then when the Meepo came out, if you're the Jug, you're like, all right, I'm not going to have a good game. Or it's going to be very hard at least to have.
But where did it all go wrong? Was it like just because he died a couple of times? Was it because he built too much HP and not enough damage?
He bought back twice, didn't he?
He did buy back, but he had to. That's like, I think like it's really difficult to kind of like if you were in a Jug situation, like what would be the right build? Some people say like there's always a right build, but this game I don't think that's the case for Juggernaut. Like he just has so many issues right now, and compound that with now there's the Crimson Guard and the Axe, so now he does like very, very little damage. Even with DD, he's only hitting for 300. That's how like little damage he's dealing right now.
Very little that he can do in these team fights as well. OG. Anna's pushing out. And TnC are going to go for anything, immediately just TPing out, and they will all get away. Just before Anna gets eyes onto them. OG continues to take further control of the map here with the dewarding, making sure that TnC are kind of forced back into their base and left pretty much blind outside of it. A lone wall pretty much inside of the base of OG is all that TnC have to rely on in terms of information on the map.
All their shrines are up in base, however, so it could be a little bit risky if they do decide to push. Juggernaut still has like a little bit of ways to go. He can pick up an Abyssal, he can pick up a Mjolnir, he can swap out his Helmet Dom for something a little bit more useful 50 minutes in. So like they still have room to grow, and they still will be farming for quite some time. And this is about as strong as you get as Meepo. 6 slots with Aegis, he actually swapped out his BOTs for Scotty, so screw move speed.
All the stats on this Meepo. Absolutely massive, no tell. OG once again outside of the base. Anna jumping in, see if he can get sort of a setup there with that chains. Jarek's S4 more than happy to pull up anything that he finds. Look again from Jarek's, not going to latch. TnC doing their best to hold here, but OG, they're getting ready to put the pressure on. Anna comes in again, chops down the healing ward. And the shrine will be activated by Cuckoo.
4-second cooldown hooks, 5-second searing chains.
So much kind of fishing potential here, but bottom lane jumping onto Notel, but immediate reaction from OG here. S4 comes in with a call, fly with the golem. Raven's incredibly low. TnC will get a lasso, but it's only onto Jerax, dragging him back. There's not enough damage to bring down this Pudge. Notel's just surrounding the Cuckoo Juggernaut, takes him out, 2 dead on TnC. No buybacks, they'll root up Real, a 3rd dead on TnC. As OG opening up a good window now to safely destroy the base of TnC. Again, another blink forward route from Anna. Playing with TnC, keeping them back towards their fountain. Can they kill Raven? He's so close to the fountain, he's not going to make it home safely tonight. OG cut down a 4th. And GG is called. At the end of the day, OG, the Meepo strat worked out, Ben. And some really, really solid kind of team play. We saw it from both sides, though. You've got to give hats off to TnC for some of those early engagements, especially Sam H's Sand King play. Some big epicenters. But at the end of the day, I mean, Meepo, No Tails Farm, out of this one.
Right, there were so many good things that OG did, though. I think Fly, as usual, played
the
incredibly
rock
well.
golems,
His positioning was really good. I think they also executed the chains and a hook combo in the early game a lot to really stunt the Juggernauts.